Hello students, I am Dr. Sanjeev Punia. In last lecture, we discussed about the register transfer and micro operations. We discussed about instructions code and computer registers also. In today's lecture, we will discuss about computer instructions as well as timing and control. And if we have some time, then we will discuss about the instructions cycle also. So let's start from the brief of the instructions code and register whatever we discussed in last class. So in brief, our computer system have basically two units. First one is microprocessor or processor sometimes say, and second one is the memory. Second one is the memory. In processors, there are different operations we can perform, that is micro operations, machine instructions, and it also has some internal registers as well as bus. If we will discuss about the latest microprocessor, then it is very complicated. But we are not going to discuss about the latest microprocessor. We will discuss the basics of microprocessor. We will discuss the basics of micro operations. And it evolved near about 25 years ago by Maurice Mano. This is the reason that this book, Computer Architecture by Maurice Mano, is very important because it's a simple single processor model, simple as well as single processor model. The purpose of our study is that how the registers are going to be stored and how the data is going to be transferred between these, how the registers are going to be managed and how the data is going to be transferred between those. So if we will discuss about these, then there are two important things. There are basically two important things. First one is processor and second one is memory. First one is processor and second one is memory. Processor is also called CPU, that is central processing unit. When we are saying memory, it means RAM. It means primary memory. And the memory size is 4096 words. 4096 words means we can store 1, 2, 3, like this we can store 4096 words. It means from 0 to 4095. If we want to represent these, then we want 12 bits because 2 raised to the power 12, 2 raised to the power 12 equals to 20, equals to 4096. So to represent any address, or to select any word from the memory, we want 12 bits line. And the width of each length is 12 bits. It means a word contains 12 bits from 0 to 15. So this was about the basics of a memory, that there are 4096 words. To represent these words, we need 12 bits of bus, and the word length is 16 bit. Now, we discussed about this earlier, that a program is sequence of instructions. When we are discussing about the machines or in computer organization, means it's a sequence of machine operations or machine instructions. Instructions are sequence of micro operations, means if one has to perform some work, then what are the different subparts, what are the different subparts or different micro operations. And control unit is a unit that controls the sequence of the instructions. In memory, there are both the things are in memory, that is instructions means program also, as well as data also, means contain both the things. Memory contains both the things, data as well as instructions. In instruction code, this is divided in two parts, basically in three parts. As I told you that a word is 16-bit long. A word is 16-bit long. So from 0 to 10 means 12-bit. These 12 bits are for the address. The next 3 bits, that is 12, 13, and 14. These 4 bits are opcode. These bits are for opcode, and the last bit, that is MSB. This is most significant bit, MSB. This is used for addressing modes. That is, this is a direct addressing mode or this is a indirect addressing mode. So address specify the registers and the memory location. By this, we can find out the location of the registers where the data is going to be stored, and opcode is the operation code that tells what we have to do. So in 16-bit register, there are 12 bits for the address, 3 bits for the opcode, and one last bit is for the address mode. This is the format of instruction code. Now, direct addressing mode and indirect addressing mode. As we know, this first bit is used for addressing mode. We saw in the last slide that first bit or MSB is used for the addressing mode. So we can see over here that 0 represent direct addressing mode. When this will work in the direct addressing modes, means it contains 0, and when it will work in indirect addressing mode, then it will contain 1. So the location 15th bit, this is also called MSB, tell the microprocessor that it will work in the direct addressing mode or indirect addressing mode. Direct addressing mode is, it tells the processor that the content of the operand or the operand is in the address directly, means whatever the address we give. Suppose I gave address 2001 to the microprocessor, to the processor, then it directly goes to this address, and find the operand, means operands are at this memory address. But in this case, when we have to find out, or when processor has to find out the address, then first of all it has to refer to some other memory, then the address of opcode is written over here. We will try to understand this by the given example. In direct addressing mode, this is the address of the opcode. This is the address of the opcode. This is the operation. Add is the operation, and 0 represent that this is a addressing mode. 0 represent that this is a addressing mode means it will go on the address, it will access the address field, and this field, the opcode is, so it will directly go to this address, that is 457, and opcode is at this place. But in case of indirect addressing, this is one represent indirect addressing. The operation or opcode is add. The operands are at the memory that is referenced by 300. So first it will go to 300 memory location, then the operands are at this location. Operands are at this location because this memory reference to 1350. So in short, we can say that in direct addressing mode, processor access direct memory and get the opcode. But in case of indirect addressing mode, processor has to go to reference memory to get the operand. So this was about the addressing mode. Now the different registers, those are inside the basic computers. It has DR, data register. It holds the operand of memory. It holds the operand. AR, address register. It holds the address, or this is called address register. This is called address register. It's hold address of memory, that at present what is the memory address. AC, accumulator. Each and everything is going to be performed in accumulator. So this is the processor register. Accumulator is the main thing where all the operations are going to be performed. This is IR, instruction register. IR is instruction register. It holds instructions code as add, subtract, complement, like this operation. Now PC, program counter, it tells or it holds the address of instructions, that where the instructions are. TR, temporary register. What happens sometimes at the time of processing, processor wants to access some other value. So instead of putting that value in the primary memory, what happens? Processor puts that value in temporary registers for the time being. And INPR, that is input registers. When any input is attached with the processor, then the value of the input is accessed by the processor, is received by the processor, that is through the input register. It holds the input characters. Then OUTR, out register, output register. It holds the values, those have to be sent to the output. Now the size of these registers, this is also most important thing. The size of these registers, the size of data register is 16. There are two registers, address register as well as program counter. whose address is six, whose address is 12 bit, and two register input and output registers whose address bits are 8, whose bits are 8. Rest the registers have 16 bits. Rest the registers have 16 bits. So from here we can say that data register, accumulator, instruction register, and temporary registers have 12 have 16 bit, whereas address register and program counter has 12 bit, as well as input registers as well as output registers have 8 bits. So this is also very important, that is going to be used because the data is going to be processed according to the number of bits. This is the representation of the last one, that instruction register, temporary register, data register, and address register, or accumulator, sorry. These registers, accumulator, data register, temporary register, and instructions register are of 16 bit, that is 0 to 15. These two registers, that is program counter and address register, it contains the address and it contains the current address. So these are of 12 bits, and these two register, that is input register and output registers, are of 8 bits. This is the memory. So there are two parts. First one is memory, and these are the registers. Those are going to be used inside the CPU. So we discussed two things, that there are basically two components in basic register, that is, first one is CPU, central processing unit or processing unit, and first one is, and another is memory, and these are different registers inside the CPU. So we cover in last lecture till here. This was the revision. Now we will start from the next, that how these are going to be connected and how we can do the selections of registers. As in the last slide, we say that there are two parts. So there are two parts. First one is memory and second one is processor. This complete is the processor or registers. This complete is the registers of the processor. This one. Now, if there is memory, then number one, there are some controls that tell that the data has to be read from the memory or data has to be write in the memory. So there are two control lines, those tells that data has to be write or data has to be read from the memory. There will be one address register, there will be one address register that tells that at which address data has to be write or data have to be read. So there are these three controls. One is for the read, second is for the write, and third one is for the address. This is ALU, arithmetic logic unit. All the operations are going to be performed in ALU, arithmetic logic unit. From here you can see that this is input registers, mean whatever the value we are going to be take that's coming directly from the input to the arithmetic logic unit. Arithmetic logic unit. And whatever the value it's want to send to the output directly, to the output, that value can be sent directly to output register. So when we are saying that ALU, arithmetic logic unit, means arithmetic logic unit and accumulator are combined, because the performance or the working of ALU, arithmetic logic unit, is depend on accumulator. Accumulator, because it contains the address information, lot of things over here. So input register is directly connected to ALU to receive the value, and output register is directly connected to ACU to send the value. Now this L in all the registers, this L in all the registers is for load. For load means when we have to send the value in these registers. To inform that these registers are going to be perform something, has to be load something, or have to be put data on the bus, that can be address bus or that can be memory bus. This is the signal for that. These three lines, S0, S1 and S2, these three lines are used to select the different registers or memory. The selection of different register and memory is based on S0, S1 and S2, or these are also called selection line, because selection of register and memory depends on these three lines. The C value in all the registers say that it will be clear when this will be active. When the C control will be active, at that time all the registers will be clear to 0. Now we will try to see that how the values of these, how the value of selection point depend, okay, from this one only. See, when it's going to start from 0, 0, 0, suppose the value of S1, sorry, S0, S1 and S2 let me write it in reverse order, because we have to start from 0. So this is S0, this is S1, and next is S2. So there can be 8 possible combinations, as we know that 0, 0, this can be 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, means when I will calculate the value, then it can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 6 and 7 means when we have these three selections line S0, S1 and S2, then we can get these these 8 possible combinations. So when we have the value 0, or when the values of S2, S1 and S0 are 0, we get 0. When the value of this is 0, 0, 1, we get the 1. When the value of this is 1, 1 and 1, we get the 17. Sorry, we get the 7. So when the signals of S0, S1, S2 is 7. When the signal of selection lies is 7, you can see from here that we are going to select the memory. When it is 1, means we are going to select the address register. This is the address line you can see from here. So we are going to select the address register. When it is 2, then we are going to select the program counter. In case of 3, we are going to select the data register. You can see that data is going to be transferred to the ALU. At 4, it is accumulator. Means we are taking the content from the accumulator, or we can say that it is connected with the accumulator, or it selects the accumulator. When it is 5, then instruction register. At 6, this is temporary register. We have not discussed about the 01. We left 01 till now. We will discuss it later on. So this is the combinations. This is the selection line. Based on this selection line, we can select that we have to select the memory, we have to select the address register, we have to select the program counter, we have to select the data register, input or output register, whatever the registers we have to select, and these are connected with a 16-bit common bus. These all are connected with a 16-bit common bus. This is also the same thing. I represent it in little bit different manner. So let's see from here. So these are those 3 selection lines: S0, S1, S2. At 7, it select the memory. We discuss about it. At 1, it select the address register. At 2, it select program counter. 3, data register. 4, accumulator. 5th, instruction register. And 6th, temporary register. See, you can see from here that this is a clock. This is a clock. Means whatever the operation that is going to be performed, that is based on clock. Because every operation is going to be performed based on clock. That can be synchronous or that can be asynchronous. That can be synchronous or maybe asynchronous. We studied all these things earlier. So with each and every component, a clock is connected. A clock is connected based on which we decide that the value has to be transferred or not, or at what time the value is going to be transferred. This is for memory read. This is for memory read. This is to send the address, that at which address we have to read or at which we have to write. This is for the write. This is to write, when we have to write something in AR register, we can write from here and we can read from here. We can write from here and we can read from here in all the registers. This is ALU, arithmetic logic unit. You can see that data in ALU is coming from accumulator, is coming from accumulator. So accumulator is directly connected with the ALU, arithmetic logic unit, means whatever the information is in accumulator, that is used by arithmetic logic unit directly. And second, the data register value. Data register value means what data we have to use to perform the operation. This is input register. The value, if any value has to be sent directly to ALU. We saw this in the last slide also, that a input register can send direct value to ALU. So this is about the configuration of all the registers with clock pulse. With clock pulse. Let me clear it. What happens? Let me start it again. Let me check what happens. Okay, this is pause recording, stop recording. No, something happens. Let me first clear it, then let me come on the same page from where we were here. Yes, we were at this diagram. So from here we saw that each and every register have the clock pulse to tell that when the operation has to be performed, when the operation has to be performed. Second, this is for the write. This is for the write operation, means when register has to be write to bus, to a bus, and when a bus has to be write or has to be send any data to register, this is for, these lines are for input. This is a 16-bit common bus. So we discuss over here that how these are going to be connected, how different registers are going to be connected, and what happens or how the operation happens between these three. We discuss these things. Okay, one thing is new over here. Last we discussed that AR and PC. AR means address register and PC, program counter, are 12-bit. We can see from here that we discuss that AR, that is address register, and program counter are of 12-bit. But we are connected, and as well as OUTR means out register, as well as input registers are of 8-bit. So we will discuss this here. Address register as well as program counter are of 12-bit. Out register as and in register. Out register as well as in registers are of 8-bit. But what the problem? Problem is this, that these two registers also are connected with a common bus, that is 16 bit. This register is of 18 bit and is connected with 16 bit common bus. In the same way, address register as well as program counter are of 12 bits but connected with a 16 bit, then what will happen in the remaining bits? See, this is a 16 bit bus, this is 12 bits that is used by the address register as well as program counter, and this is a 16 bit bus, and only 6 bits are used by input register and an output register. Then what will happen? So when we have to use address register and program counter, in this case 4 bit is left, in 16 minus 12, as these use 12 bits, so 16 minus 12 is 4. So in this case it will hold the last 12 digits, means first 4 digits are left. In these digits, first 4 digits, we will put the values 0. In first 4 digits we will put the value 0. And same in the case of outer register, we will use the lower part of the register, means only last 8 bits, to store the value of out registers, low order 8 bits. So this is memory read. About the read operations on the memory, means okay, this is about the control bus we discussed. We left this 0 0 0 means X. We are not discussing about this situation at this time. So 1 1 1 means 7. So we are accessing the memory. So these are the selection line based on which the register is going to be select, that on which register we have to perform the operation. Now instruction format. Instruction format, that what are the format of the instructions? First, it can be of memory reference instructions. Memory reference instructions. This is about the direct or indirect mode. Next 3 digits are for the opcode. Next 3 digits are of the opcode, and these 12 digits 0 to 12 are for the address. For the address that is concerned with the memory. Then register reference instructions. Register reference instructions means it is going to reference to a register. When it can be reference, instructions can be referenced either to memory, either to any register we studied, or about input output. So there can be 3 things. Either we are going to connect with memory or with registers or with input output. So these can be memory reference instructions, register reference instructions, and input output instructions. In case of memory reference register, it will be 1 or it will be 0. This is opcode and this is the address of the memory. Now this is opcode. Opcode is 111. Opcode is 111 in this case. And registers operation is code is over here. In next one, when we have to use the input output registers, then the code is 111, opcode is 111, and this is indirect register, or indirect addressing mode. So this is the input output operation. This is for the opcode. This is the opcode for input output instructions. This is the opcode for the register, and opcode for memory can be 000 to 110. This can be any opcode between these. We will discuss that how we can use these opcodes in different situations. Next. Yeah, this is the detail of the symbols or codes, that what should be the values when we have to perform different operations. So for code add, if I want to add, then the value for that should be, the value of that should be 1. It can be x-axis, can be anything, and it is 9. Okay, I will try to tell you in another way. We know that in hex code there should be 16 bits. There should be 2 raised to the power 8. 2 raised to the power 8, that is 64. Yeah. So there is 4 and 4. So when this is a direct addressing mode, in case of direct addressing mode and in case of indirect addressing mode, we are taking combinations of 4 bits. So 2 raised to the power 4, that is 2 to the 4, 4 to the 8, and 8 to the 16. Means we are using a 16-bit number, or we are using a hexadecimal. We are using a hexadecimal number. So when in case of direct addressing mode, it for AND operation, first bit should be 0. In add, first should be 1. In load, LDA means load, it should be 2. In the same way, you can see from here that increment, this is for increment and skip to 0. This is branch, this is for the branch, this is unconditional branch, and this is store the content. We will study these operations in detail, that what are these operations and how these operations can be performed. Now CLA, we are not bothered about the codes. We are not bothered about the codes, because there is no need to remember these codes. This work is done by the machine. We have to write only the op codes. We have to write these only. This was in case of direct addressing mode, and when it is indirect addressing mode, then for AND memory, we will use 8, 9, and in this way. For clear accumulator, we have to use CLA. For clear E, if you pay attention in the last slide, then you can see from there is a register E that is connected with the accumulator. There is a register E that is connected with the accumulator, we did not discuss about this register at present. So this is a 1-bit register. We will discuss this register later on at the time of requirement. At the time of requirement. But till now, you should try to understand about the register or code, that this is for CLA, means clear accumulator. When we have to clear the accumulator, then we have to write CLA. For clear E bit, we have to write CLE. For complement of A, we have to write CMA. For complement of E, CME. Circular right, circular left, increment. This is skip next if AC. Skip next if this is positive. Skip to next instructions if AC is positive, and skip to next instruction if AC is negative. This is skip next instruction if AC is 0, and skip next instruction if E is 0. This is for the halt, when we have to stop each and every operation at the same time. That time we can use halt. Then for input, we have to use INP. For output, OUT. For skip on input flare, this is SKI, that is skip on input flag. Skip on input flag. And this is SK, means skip on output flag. This is interrupt on. When there is a problem, there is some problem in the circuit, and it is interrupt off. So these are the different operations those we can perform through the microprocessor, either on the accumulator or on different registers. These are different sets. Whatever we study in the last one, we are dividing these instructions. So you can see from here that we are dividing in functional instructions, in transfer instructions, control instruction, as well as input output register. So we are dividing the instruction sets in different. So functional instructions contains arithmetic instructions, logic instructions, and shift instructions. As in arithmetic, this is add, subtract, complement, increment. In shift register, this is circular shift, circular right, this is circular left. In logic, this is and CLA, means clear. In transfer register, this is the transfer between the memory and the register, means LDA, load, or STA, means store. Load, LDA means load the data, and STA means store the data. Now control instructions, we study one instructions. This is branch instructions. When the value of this is, when the branch instructions, and this is instructions when the value of accumulator is 0. Value of accumulator is 0. These two are input and output instructions, input and out. So these are the different sets in which we can divide the instructions. These are functional instruction, transfer instructions, control instructions, and input-output instructions. Now I think it's sufficient for today. We will discuss next about the control unit. So in today class, we discuss about the instructions code, computer registers, computer instructions, that how the computer instructions are going to perform their work, and the connections between the registers.